The Toxic Avenger is back for an all-new reboot. So today, let's rank all 5 of the Toxic Avenger films from worst to best. Leave your list down below. How would you rank all 5 of the Toxic Avenger films? I just recently watched these for the first time. I was not prepared with how campy and absurd they were and the amount of body fluid that was just pouring throughout these movies.
No, don't like that.
But I'm really excited to talk about all 5 of them, so let me know your ranking down below. Coming in last place, Citizen Toxie, Toxic Avenger 4. This one was really bizarre. Like, there was a lot of humor in this film that really just felt mean-spirited. And the previous Toxic Avengers films, they had a lot of jokes that just didn't make sense or really crude, but this film just seemed to go above and beyond with that. And I'm not easily like offended or like I find jokes to be like truly mean-spirited. I laugh at pretty much anything, but the jokes in here were just dirty and crude. Like, they made jokes about rape and calling people retards nonstop. It just really got under my skin, and I had a really hard time enjoying this film. I know this is like the style of humor for Lloyd Kaufman, but it was really hard to get past that, especially when you open up with that in a classroom and Toxic Avenger saving these students, and just the amount of dedication that went into a couple of these scenes, like especially that classroom sequence. It was really hard to get past all of that, and that allowed for me to really not enjoy this so much, even though it took it into a different direction and had it with different universes of different versions of Toxic Avenger. I thought was pretty clever and fun to see, but I just couldn't really get so much involved with this film. And if you pay very close attention, James Gunn makes an appearance within this film. Coming in 4th place, Toxic Avenger Part 2. This film takes it to Tokyo, where Melvin Junko's father is revealed to live in Japan. And he goes there to try to meet his father, but learns that his father is corrupt and tries to defeat him. The beginning of this film really takes its time to get established. Like, you could tell that they didn't really have the strongest of plots within this movie, and so you have like this big brawl in the beginning of the movie, which seems to take up a lot of runtime in the beginning, and it really takes its time to get to our actual plot of Melvin Junko going to Japan to find his father. There's some great looking sequences in Japan, and there is some pretty absurd moments, especially when it comes to his father, which is named Big Mac. When he senses evil, he has to fight it, and he senses that his father is corrupt and tries to defeat his father. It does have some twist at the end, but the plot is fairly thin in it, and I did like that they took it into a different direction and a different location for Toxic Avenger, and allowing for him to fight crime in a different part of the world. I like that they did change the voice. It seems more in line with Melvin Junko compared to that first movie. I thought that was always so bizarre that Melvin had this really high-pitched voice, and then Toxic Avenger had this deeper voice. I like how the voice was for this second and third movie. It takes the humor from that first film and just expands on it. Like, I can't like sit here and describe how campy these movies are. The jokes just don't make no sense. Some of them are intentional, but I thought the films were pretty funny. Like, I laughed at how silly they were and how crude they were at times. Since we already had the Toxic Avenger established as a hero, we can have some more humor for him as well. Coming in 3rd place, the Toxic Avenger, the latest film, this reboot with Peter Dinklage as the Toxic Avenger. I did not expect this film to be as similar to the 4 previous Toxic Avengers films. Like, those films like felt like a product of the 80s and 90s and the early 2000s for Citizen Toxie. It had a certain atmosphere to it that I just don't think can be recreated today. This film tried its best to maintain that humor. The humor is there, the violence is there, and it didn't reach the heights of those previous movies. Like, there wasn't many moments I found myself like just really like busting up laughing compared to the other films. But I like that it was its own thing while also paying homage to what came before. I really like Peter Dinklage in this film. It felt more serious in the beginning of the movie, which allowed for it to lay that foundation to where you felt connected to these characters. When you look at his character and his stepson, played by Jacob Tremblay, you give that film its heart and its purpose very early on, and then you can allow for the script to be more playful and more fun and more violent and have a lot of jokes within it. And that's where the camp really comes into play, that it's quite silly, absolutely stupid. There are jokes that are just constantly coming, and then you have that violent nature to it that is very similar to the Toxic Avenger films. There are some bloody moments in here, and I thought you could play around with some jokes around it. Peter Dinklage is pretty solid within the film. Elijah Wood and Kevin Bacon are great as supporting characters. They add to the camp as well. Elijah Wood reminds me of the Penguin from Batman Returns, but it has that nice balance of humor and violence and a character that you're actually rooting for this time around, and you felt that connection to that character. It's a little more serious at times, but is able to implement that absolute camp and that humor that works so well for this franchise. Coming in second place, Toxic Avenger 3. This film makes no sense. A lot of moments are really thin, and you have his girlfriend Claire, who magically can get this surgery to where she can see, but she needs to raise a very certain amount of money. So the Toxic Avenger starts taking on these odd jobs around Tromaville, and he starts trying to babysit, but he has rid Tromaville of so much evil that he starts to try to recorrect people's behaviors in certain sequences. But he takes this job with a waste company, really is for that money. But I like how this character was set up, that he was depressed and really felt like he didn't have that purpose. It was a new way to bring forth this character the third time around. And then you felt like he was a little bit corrupt at times with the money and his job. But the whole concept is really stupid with her trying to get that surgery. But they do make a lot of jokes out of that, especially since she doesn't know what the Toxic Avenger looks like, and she thinks he is absolutely handsome. We've had some villains for the Toxic Avenger 4, but I really like this villain that came out of Apocalypse Inc. It's funny, it's silly, it doesn't make sense. The script is a little bit thin at times, but I like that they were able to do something different this time around for the Toxic Avenger. I feel like he didn't have a purpose, which added some more development for that character and a little more dramatic moments for him, but you can implement all that humor to it and have a lot of fun with it. But coming in first place, the Toxic Avenger, the first film, I like that it had this nice balance of Melvin Junko as this janitor, and then the Toxic Avenger as well. When you shift to the Toxic Avenger, the film's like tone shifts and it becomes kind of darker at times. Melvin Junko easily persuaded to do things, and people are taking advantage of him. You have this group of people in Tromaville that are constantly bullying him to the point where they want to hurt him, and then he becomes the Toxic Avenger and picks them off one by one. It's a quite simple storyline, which is a great way to kind of implement this character, give him a purpose that he's trying to hurt the people that hurt him. But you have but the Toxic Avenger's voice was like so crazy for me that you're going to have like this really deeper, dark voice compared to what Melvin Junko had. It's a fairly quick film at only 82 minutes. We're able to get to our storyline very quickly and have that comedy in it. I feel like it's similar to the reboot of the Toxic Avenger, where you have this kind of more grounded approach to it. I mean, it's got a lot of comedy in it, but I feel like as the film does progress, that is where more and more comedy comes into play. I had a good time with the Toxic Avenger films, minus really the fourth film, but this franchise is absolutely absurd. I was not expecting this movie to be so campy, and I can't wait to check out more from Lloyd Kaufman. Make sure to leave your ranking down below, and what other Lloyd Kaufman films should I check out? Stay tuned for more up and coming ranking videos like this. My name is Justin Watches Movies, and you guys stay classy too.